You ever feel like you're trapped inside a loop you didn't choose? You wake up with the best intentions, saying, I'll stop scrolling, I'll go for that run, I'll start the thing that I've been putting off. But then the day happens, and before you know it, you're right back where you started. It's like watching yourself relapse in slow motion, like your body's on autopilot and your brain's just tagging along for the ride. And the worst part is that you know better, but knowing doesn't actually change anything, because information doesn't rewire your brain, repetition does. And what you're about to hear might explain why change feels so hard, even when you know you're doing everything right. You can build a better version of yourself, but not unless you understand how to rewire the habits you already have. Right now, whether you realize it or not, you're training your brain. Every action is a rep. Every day is a vote for who you're becoming. So let's make sure you're voting for the right person. Number 1 is to imagine trying to plant a new tree. You can dig into dry, untouched ground, or you could plant it next to something already thriving. That's what habit stacking is. You take something you already do, like brushing your teeth, making coffee, or locking your door, and attach a small new habit to it. For example, I hope you brush your teeth twice, so I'm gonna assume you do. So when you're brushing your teeth, you can very easily use a mouthwash for 30 seconds at night. Or when your coffee is brewing, you can just do some stretches. Attaching small mini habits like these to bigger habits like those makes it much easier to start seeing some change, because you're not building from scratch. You're piggybacking on something that already works. It's like sneaking into a concert using someone else's wristband. Makes it very, very easy. Your brain resists change on purpose, and unless you learn how to sneak past that resistance, your habits will always snap back. Let's look at how to get around it without a fight. Which leads us to number 2, starting stupid small. Let's stick to the dental advice. If you have a problem with flossing, you might say that, flossing every day is hard, I can't stay consistent with it, then just floss one tooth. Literally, just floss one tooth. The hardest part isn't flossing, it's starting. If you want to work out, do 2 push-ups. If you want to read, just open the book and read a couple words. If you want to pray, just do it for 30 seconds. Doing something is better than doing nothing. It's much better to do a full proper workout, but doing 2 push-ups is better than not doing anything. The goal isn't to finish the marathon, it's to put your shoes on. Once you start, your brain wants to keep going. Tiny wins like that rewire your identity, but only if your brain can see them. If you skip this next part, they'll never stick. Here's how you can turn invisible progress into momentum, and that is to track your progress visibly. Humans are visual. You ever notice how satisfying it is to cross something off of your to-do list? That's dopamine, because you're fulfilling progress. Now imagine a calendar on your wall. Every day you complete your habit, you mark a big red X. At first, it's just a mark, but after 4 or 5 days, you won't want to break the chain. You'll do 5 push-ups just to protect that little X on your calendar. And that's the point. The red X is a receipt. It proves you're becoming the kind of person who shows up. By the way, if you want a place to actually build these habits with other people, I have a Discord server full of people trying to level up just like you. And if you want even more, I opened up YouTube memberships too. You'll get early access to uploads whenever possible, unreleased content that I don't share publicly, and more stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes. No pressure, but if you're in, I'd love to have you there. So even visible progress can die in the wrong environment. Momentum feels powerful, but it collapses in the wrong environment. If your space is fighting you, your discipline won't survive. This is more than just moving your phone out of the room, so let's fix your environment. You can't out-discipline a bad environment. Studies show willpower is like a battery, and it drains fast. So make it easier on yourself. Put your phone in another room, or take addicting apps off your home screen. Have your textbooks already open on the page that you need to turn to, and have your gym clothes ready the night before. These aren't hacks, they're friction removers. You are the architect of your space. So build it like your life depends on it, because it literally does. Most people think they need more willpower, but what actually works is building systems that act before your brain even hesitates. Here's how to set one up without overthinking it, which is using the if-then rules. There's a tool called implementation intention. If X happens, then I'll do Y. It makes you sound like a robot, but it's insanely effective. Studies show that it makes you up to 300% more likely to follow through, saying things like, if I feel stressed, I'll walk outside. If I want to scroll, I'll drink water. If I feel tempted to relapse, I'll text a friend. It's not about being perfect, because in that 1-second pause, that's where you can find a lot of your change. You don't need to fight your habits forever. But if you don't build this next pause into your day, you may never interrupt the loop at all. Let's put your brain back in the driver's seat by reflecting every night. Here's a habit that not many people do, but everyone should. Reflection. At the end of your day, you should ask, what did I do well? What got in the way? What will I change tomorrow? You don't need a journal, just whisper it to yourself before bed. This one tiny moment rewires your brain every single night. It turns mistakes into lessons, and it stops a bad day from becoming a bad week. It's not just modern psychology. In Islam, we're taught to reflect before sleeping, to review, self-correct, and grow. It's a pretty smart thing to do. Reflection helps you recover, but this next one is how you build momentum. Without it, you're just resetting the same day over and over. So set a daily intention. Most people wake up and hand the day to their phone. You check one thing, then you're gone for hours. But if you take 60 seconds, you take your life back. Just say one thing. Today I'll move. Today I'll protect my peace. Today I'll choose better. You're not chasing perfection, you're pointing your brain in the right direction. And sometimes that's really all you need. A lot of people never figured this out. They just keep trying harder until they burn out. But if you shift the design instead of your discipline, you don't just survive your habits, you grow from them. If you've been rebuilding your life quietly, trying to get better without recognition, my last video is proof that it can add up. I disappeared for 4 years, I came back, and somehow I hit 10,000 subscribers. Because even slow progress still works when it's real.